bring us here. And what we want to say, we believed in our religion, both as an ideology and practice, and hence we tried our best to establish this Islamic State and Islamic society. La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah! La ilaha illallah!
Zawahiree's cellmate, Montasa al-Zayat, recalls Ayman's frustration about the failure of the Sadat assassination to cause a mass uprising and regime change in Egypt. Zawahiree is already blaming US involvement. Montasa, who today works as a lawyer in Cairo, has no doubt. Ayman is the driving force behind bin Laden.
Ayman al-Zawahiri has a profound strategic influence on Osama bin Laden. He implanted the concept of worldwide jihad in Osama's mind. So far, bin Laden had merely fought against the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. Zawahiri thus conveyed the new idea of global jihad to Osama. To me, the brain behind Osama bin Laden is Ayman al-Zawahiri. He is the one who steers Osama. He is the manipulator. He is the planner, the visionary.
After 3 years, Zawahiri is released. He returns to Afghanistan in the mid-80s, to the country where the Mujahideen will achieve their first big victory. In 1989, with the help of American weapons and a lot of fighting courage, the Russians are finally forced to withdraw. A success with far-reaching consequences. After Afghanistan, nothing in the world seems impossible. The only thing that counts, says Abdallah Azzam, is willpower. Victory is a moment of revelation, especially for bin Laden.
Those who fought in Afghanistan know, with the simplest means, some landmines, Kalashnikovs or rocket launchers, you can overwhelm and destroy legends. The biggest military machine in the world has been destroyed. Henceforth, the expression superpower has lost its meaning. And we're convinced that America is even weaker than Russia.
Bin Laden grew from a young Saudi rich kid into a war hero. A legend is born. Osama starts to regard himself as invincible. Jihad is his mission, but for now, the 33-year-old returns home to Saudi Arabia. Bin Laden's great triumph follows on his first defeat. Saddam Hussein invades Kuwait. Bin Laden personally implores the Saudi king not to allow US troops onto holy Muslim soil. Mujahideen should liberate Kuwait. The royal family mocks bin Laden. In 1991, Osama goes into exile in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, one of the world's poorest countries. Following a military coup, the African country is governed by a regime of pious Muslims. Arabs do not require a visa. A dozen former Mujahideen accompany bin Laden to Sudan. The multimillionaire acquires several houses close to the airport of Khartoum, among them his own relatively modest villa. Today, Sudanese intelligence is said to own bin Laden's residence. Filming is prohibited. Bin Laden didn't dwell in luxury while living here, but as his former cook recalls, he entertained a constant flow of visitors.
The guests came from countries all over the world. There were groups arriving all the time. 50 people left, 50 people arrived, day and night.
Bin Laden's visitors come from most Islamic countries and are almost exclusively fundamentalists. Officially, Osama is a hard-working and honest entrepreneur. The Sudanese government exploits him as a mobile bank. The Saudi millionaire builds roads, an airport. As the Sudanese can't pay him in cash, they simply offer him ownership of more and more state-owned enterprises. Hassan al-Turabi, here on bin Laden's left, is the country's grey eminence. The radical Muslim intellectual regularly organizes the so-called Islamic and Arabic People's Conferences, an ideal opportunity for bin Laden to further expand his connections to radical groups worldwide. Turabi today denies this.
He came here as an investor, exclusive. Anybody tells you otherwise, he's a liar, actually. He came here as an investor. He comes from a construction company, from his family. His family is known in Saudi Arabia, not by scholarship or politics, but simply by building. They're building roads and building palaces and building haram everywhere. I mean, he came here to build a road and to build, to invest in farming. He never appeared in public life, never seen in a paper or a statement of his, or in public life, or in a mosque standing up, to speak to people. Never, ever.
During his private functions at home, bin Laden shows a different side. The rich Saudi systematically tries to recruit people. These three men were among his visitors at the time. They are members of an extremely pious group. In various meetings, bin Laden tried to enlist them for jihad. Despite his clever strategy, the men refused bin Laden's simplistic interpretation of Islam.
الأفكار بتاعت المجتمع السوداني هو يدرس أولاً.
He carefully analyzed the different theological currents in Sudanese society and studied the way of thinking of every single Islamic group, Salafists, the Muslim Brotherhood and other Sunni organizations. Once he got to know them, he tried to unite them to create a larger base. He would invite the leaders and try to find common ground. At least one other leader of Al-Qaeda was always present during these meetings. He tried to get the new recruits started on their way.
Did money play a role?
Of course, nothing works without money.
New York, February 93. The city is shaken by an event that is later seen to be the prelude to September the 11th. A powerful bomb detonates in the North Tower's underground parking lot. 6 people die, many are wounded. Omar Abdel Rahman, the blind sheikh, appears to have instigated the attack. He knows bin Laden from Peshawar. The trail left by the bomber Ramzi Youssef also leads to bin Laden. Youssef was trained in one of Osama's Afghanistan camps. He's a nephew of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, Al-Qaeda's chief executive for September the 11th.
That really remains one of the mysteries of the beginnings of Al-Qaeda. When you go back and look at the relationships between bin Laden and the blind sheikh Abdul Rahman, these were the formative years, and there are elements that they were being brought together to pursue a common vision. And so I think bin Laden's relationship with Youssef is one that we didn't fully start appreciating until, I think 1999, 2000.